Thursday's mid-morning here on Wycombe Sound. We're on till 1. David's here from 1 o'clock this afternoon. Mark's back with drive time from 4. And the Wycombe Wanderers show returns this evening from 7. Very much looking forward to bringing you that. You might recall recently on the show we had as a guest Muryel, who's a senior lecturer at Buckinghamshire New University and organiser of the Sustainability Conference, which was yesterday. And we heard from John as well, from Chiltern Rangers, who was one of the speakers. Also, ahead of the event itself, we caught up with one of those presenting, who on the day was very pleased to be taking part. That's Neil Peters, who's the head of business operations at Wycombe Wanderers.
Bucks New University are a huge partner of the clubs anyway, so I'm delighted that we're involved in speaking at the sustainability event and what the club's done over the last 2 years really to make it far more sustainable, far more green, and it's just a pleasure to be invited to a big partner and to be part of this great event.
So what are some of the things the football club can do to be more sustainable?
Well, at the moment what we can do is complete a carbon audit footprint, which is happening. So we've done an awful lot over the last 2 years. We've nothing goes to landfill. Single-use plastic is completely out the window. Most of the stadium has LED lights. We use whiff away for waterless urinal technology. So let's be fair, our water consumption's gone down. There's a saving there, but it's also obviously great for the planet. There's EV car charging points. So a lot of the small things that you can do, we've done. The big things, such as changing your energy to 100% renewable energy, you can only do every 3 years when your contract closes. Although we've done it, we've signed for January 26. It will be 100% renewable energy. But we've done a lot of things, and now we're looking at installing potentially solar over the next few months and the carbon footprint, which will give us some more indications as to what we can do to improve.
You're not just looking to be sustainable, but actually lead the way in sustainability for a football club.
Well, the EFL actually, for the first time, has just recently launched its sort of green code, or rebirth of the green code, where they will be asking clubs to take part. So far, up 72 clubs, 36 have said yes. And you will be judged bronze, silver and gold. At this moment in time, I feel confident Wycombe Wanderers will get the silver, which is some going. It's a 32-year-old stadium. It wasn't built to be sustainable. It wasn't built with, local authority building regulations these days for the infrastructure you need to be sustainable. So I think really we've done an awful lot. There's an awful lot we can do. And it's one of those things, it's going to be forever going. You can't just rest on your laurels. You don't do a bit and say, well done. You have to do a bit and then look at the next challenge.
You must be so proud of someone like David Wheeler as well, being a PFA sustainability champion.
There's quite a strong link there, isn't there? David is a great ambassador for sustainability. He's pushed me as head of operations to make sure the stadium is as good as it is. So he's worked intrinsically with me. I'm proud of him. He's a good guy. He stands up for what he believes in. He's intelligent. And I think at the end of the day, we wouldn't be in the position we're in perhaps without him sort of kicking our heels from behind.
And what would you say are your goals in terms of sustainability?
I think it would be great to see, potentially, we're having discussions at the moment to see solar panels come in. You can imagine at a football stadium, Sunday to Friday, there's a degree of energy being used, and then you get to match day Saturday and it spikes hugely. We're looking at using solar panels to store into batteries and then to use that battery storage on a match day. So that's sort of the next big one for us. That would be great because it's, there's an investment to a point there. There is a return. With most sustainable things, there's a return. Eventually, you end up spending less money. But there's a bit of operational movement to get solar panels on roofs of stands. So I'm not saying it is happening, but certainly we are in the closing stages, perhaps, of maybe agreeing that.
And this is something that supporters can get involved with and contribute to as well?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the big one I would say for any supporter is if you're drinking outside using our plastic glasses that are washable and reusable, please don't put them in a normal bin. Please put them in the bins provided so they can be washed and used the following week. So that's immediately something our supporters can be involved with. The supporters of the ground can't really be involved in an awful lot more. It's what we provide them, whether it's packaging, single-use plastic, clean energy. That's down to us. But what the supporters can do is maybe learn from the example the club set and go home and do the same. Make sure their recycling's good, lights are turned off, there's not excessive use of water. So I'm hoping at some point we begin to influence the fans that come to the stadium to sort of carry on that journey at home.
Real pleasure to chat to you. Neil Peters from Wycombe Wanderers. Spoke to him pre-match, as you might say, before watching his presentation, in which which was fantastic. Great to see David Wheeler's contribution as well, and really enjoyed the titles of his slides. All had titles of songs on them. I did catch that. After the presentations, spoke to a number of the speakers in order that they spoke, actually, so you can imagine you were there. First up was Rose Heathcote, who's a senior advisor in sustainable enterprise for Thinking People.
It's been a real pleasure to be invited, and just to see that the university is taking this so seriously.
And a great opportunity for everyone, I guess, to have questions answered as well.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have too much time for questions, but what was quite nice is afterwards a couple of people came and spoke to me and told me about their experiences from Bangladesh and India and Africa, which is actually really nice to hear. So some questions were answered, thankfully.
And sustainability is such a broad topic, isn't it? But it's fascinating to really get a better understanding of so many parts of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've learned over the years. I've been at improvement for about 30 years and sustainability only for 12. And even after 12 years, I feel like I don't fully understand all the aspects of it. It is a very, very complicated topic. And I think that's our challenge, is to take this complexity and then distill it into something that can turn to real action and to simplify things in such a way that business can actually do something with it.
And something that's really come across is the word partnership and I guess collaboration as well, and how much easier that makes it.
Absolutely. I mean, working together is a key theme from today's conference. And I'm a firm believer in working together, whether it's across value chains, supply chains, between suppliers and their customers. I think that is the key to actually unlocking potential that maybe only one person alone cannot think of.
And really nice for people to come to an event like this or to hear about it and take stuff away from it and sort of really make a difference.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I'm really hoping that people are inspired to maybe ask more questions, maybe challenge assumptions a bit, because I think we can get into the habit of just going along as business as usual. So sometimes an event like this will bring you together and get you thinking about, well, actually, what difference can I make? What could I do differently tomorrow?
So what do you hope the main message people take away from this is?
Gosh, okay, so the message I would like people to take from this is that this is not something that's completely insurmountable. I really do believe if we put our heads together, if we get to grips with what are some of our hotspots within our control, I actually think we can work together using problem-solving practices to make that happen. So my message is not to be overwhelmed by it. See it as a challenge, an exciting challenge where we can really make a difference in our lives.
It's a really good message. Also got to speak to Muryel Boulay. He's the Chief Executive of Be Otherwise, which written down looks like Botherwise, but it's the letter B and then Otherwise. That's a lot funnier if you can see it. Also, Senior Environmental Sustainability Consultant as well.
It is a privilege, actually, to, first of all, listen to the others. You know, a lot of material has been shared with us. It was a very densely packed session, and it's an opportunity to talk about climate justice, which I don't think enough people are talking about, which is another form of, it's just another way of looking at sustainability, but it's such an important one.
And an event like this is such a great way for people to increase their own understanding on the subject as well.
Well, I hope they did, because there was a lot of material shared, you know, and I like the fact that there was a mix of theory and practical tips, you know, especially for businesses, and I love the fact that we talk as much about the environment as we did about society and the importance of keeping a balance between the two.
And really nice how sort of pros and cons were explained for, you know, for the cost of sustainability compared to, you know, what it can sort of achieve in the outcome as well.
So there's a lot of researches that have been conducted already that if we pay now to mitigate, it will be cheaper than to, you know, repair. So yes, it's an investment, but it pays for itself quite quickly, as we've heard this morning. A year return on investment is really short, but it's also we need to start thinking about we paying for, you know, 7th generation. Yeah, it's not just us. We here now, but we're leaving, you know, the planet to all the other species and all the other generations that are coming after us. So I think it's worth a lot of money.
And something else which has really come across is the importance of collaboration and how that can be a real great way of getting success.
Absolutely, and as you've seen during the lunch today, you know, everybody was talking to everybody, you know, a lot of business cards were swapped, and yes, we are much stronger. It's the problem is way too big for us to tackle by ourselves, so on our own. So yes, talk to people, you know, reach out, be brave, go for a coffee, exchange. Something will come out of it, maybe not, but the exchange has happened as already you created energy just by doing this.
And just finally, what's the main thing that you hope people will take away from an event like this?
That it's possible, it's very doable, and they're not alone. There were a lot of people in the room. And the fact that there were so many students in the room as well is really heartwarming. It's because, they need to tell us what we need to do because, they will be living with, the change in conditions much longer than we did. So, no, I think it's benefits of exchange, benefit of, mixed population. Also, it was very healthy to have academics, students, businesses. Yeah, you're not on your own and it's doable.
It's a really good message, and was also fortunate to catch up once again with John Shaw, who we had on the show. He's the founder and managing director of Chiltern Rangers, who do a lot with the university already.
It's been brilliant, hasn't it? What a positive day. Loads of organisations locally coming together. Clearly the theme was sustainability, but actually the subtext of it was working together in partnership, and I think there's a lot of appetite to do some really positive things, and hopefully we can make some differences for individuals, but for our communities, and also of course for the environment as well. So yeah, fingers crossed we can follow this up with some exciting things later in the year.
I think what really helps is you're able to give sort of real life examples of the work you do, whether it's the River Wye or in your partnership with the university.
I think that's really important, isn't it? Let's be honest, we have to work together to fix the environmental challenges that we face, whether it's looking after our chalk streams like the River Wye, as you mentioned, or the chalk grasslands like at Tom Burt's Hill, again just a stone's throw from the university. The idea really is that we ask and welcome people of all ages and abilities, students or academics or businesses, all who've been at the conference today, and of course the wider public, to come along and give a few hours of their time. And I promise you that you'll feel the benefit of it. You might not immediately think so. Certainly not in the morning when you're aching with muscles you didn't even know you had. But let me tell you that the day after that, you're going to feel really good because you've done something positive, and your health and well-being have benefited as well. So why on earth would anybody not want to do that? Tell me that.
And there was a real life example as well where you were talking about inspiring people when someone from the university said they wanted to get their team involved as well, which must be really useful.
Yeah, I think that's really good too. I mean, we want as many of the schools, if you like, within the university to come out. It's part of their sustainability strategy that they want that embedded deeply to every course, so that all the students who are, let's face it, the leaders in business of the future have got that narrative. They understand the language of sustainability and they can embed that into whether it's engineering or whether it's school and business. It doesn't matter what it is, teaching, nursing, there's always that view of we've got one planet, we've got to look after it, we look after ourselves. Win-win.
And just finally, what do you hope the main thing people take away from today is?
I think that there's a lot of positivity. It can be a really challenging topic, sustainability. Someone said there's an elephant in the room. The only way you can eat that elephant is a bite at a time. So if we can all do our little bit, the little bits add up, maybe we can just crack this. Who knows?
Really inspiring words from John Shaw there from Chiltern Rangers, who, as mentioned, does a lot with Buckinghamshire University at various sites. Also caught up with Amy Carter, who's an EV operations manager at DAF Trucks, who are based in Bucks over at Haddonham.
As a student of BNU as well, it's incredibly humbling to be asked to speak at these events, especially around something I feel so passionate about, which is, of course, decarbonation of the truck industry.
And fantastic as well to get so many questions answered for people about, especially obviously vehicles.
Yeah, it's a huge topic, and there's a lot of scope to the topic as well. So we talk about scope 3 emissions and things like that, supply chain, and how people are going to go through their decarbonisation journey. We talked about the sort of range of trucks that we have coming to market as well. For example, our 19-ton trucks. If you look at the diesel equivalent, 50% of the trucks that we sell in that market are doing less than 100 miles a day. They're absolutely perfect for electrification.
Really encouraging for you, I guess, that there is such an interest in the subject from people, especially here today.
Yes, definitely. I've been inundated with requests to continue these conversations on LinkedIn, so I'm really, really keen to have those conversations later, yeah.
And fantastic as well, obviously, for the company to be based locally and to be able to, sort of reach out to the community.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we're a Dutch-owned company, and that company is owned by the American company called PACCAR, so we have a rich sort of global heritage, but we're very proud of our Buckinghamshire roots, absolutely.
And just finally, what message do you hope people take from, especially from this event and from the message that you've been giving as well today?
I think the overall message is that electric trucks are coming. People tend to be quite shocked that trucks can be electric, and they sort of, they thought that diesel might be the only way to power a truck. But I think the message is that electric trucks are absolutely viable. The infrastructure will be coming very shortly because of things like the ZHID project, which you can see online. But yeah, absolutely, the revolution for the transport industry is just around the corner.
Really fascinating to find out from Amy about the vehicle industry and how that can be sustainable. Some other fantastic talks as well, including AI and how technology is involved as well. Really brilliant to chat to Kyle Banks as well, who's a charity director at Missenden Wall Garden, who do some brilliant work through therapeutic horticulture as well.
We work in a community partnership with the university, and we have a home with the university, so it's absolutely essential that we have the opportunities to work together. And obviously, because Missenden Wall Garden, we actually look after the grounds of Missenden Abbey and we supply produce to the kitchens. It's really important that we're thinking about sustainability in terms of what we're doing and how we can work together. That partnership working seemed to be the theme of the day, so I'm really happy.
And a great real life example as well of how sustainability can help, especially in the community, as you say.
Yes, very much so. I mean, I talked in my presentation about some projects we're doing in terms of work with public health. So we're about to build a teaching kitchen, a community kitchen. So we're really putting it was a council initiative, the Grow It, Cook It, Eat It initiative, but now we're able to do not just that, but the Grow It, Cook It, Eat It and compost it as well. So we're very excited.
And as you say, partnership is really something that's come across today, and that's a real essential way of tackling sustainability, really.
I think it really is. I mean, we were all talking about resources and capability, and sometimes sustainability can be a challenge to find the time in your day job, but it's such a hugely important thing. So I think if we can all be thinking about it on a day-to-day basis and doing our best, then that's the best way forwards.
And what would you say is the main message that you hope people take away from this event today?
I think probably hold it lightly, really, but stay focused and know that every individual has the opportunity to make a change, and that's really important.
Great catching up with many of the speakers who were at the conference, and also I got the chance to speak to a couple of other people who are just delegates, I think you call them, at a conference, don't you? I spoke to Evans, who's a student at BNU, and he's from Kenya. He's doing a PhD on the subject, and also caught up with Sheila Ashmore, who's a sustainability manager at Stay Tight, who are based up at Cressex. And as you can imagine, was really interested to be at the event.
I already met Horea before on another course when we'd done sustainability. I was part of getting the programme through here for their business and law programme. She reached out to me to be part of the panel, and I just wanted to come along and meet like-minded people and network and share ideas.
And what were your thoughts of the event generally?
It was really, really interesting. We've been to quite a few events in London, for example, where there are much larger companies bringing sustainability in. But this was much more of a smaller venue and some really fantastic guest speakers where you can share ideas and pick up points and obviously network with everyone.
And as you say, the localness of it is fantastic as well, isn't it?
Definitely localness. When we started our own sustainability journey, we actually started a sustainability breakfast club. So we get the bid committee from the High Wycombe Globe and the Globe Park. So every quarter that we actually meet and we share with other local companies any issues that we may have or any successes. And that's, again, it's all about networking and trying to just change something. And small steps, as I think one of the guest speakers, John, said, is how you start.
And in your work, have you found many of the challenges that were addressed today?
Yes, there's a few more. I mean, I think we're slightly further along our field, so we've got regulatory laws that are coming in from Europe, which are just mind-blowing. But no, they are. It's interesting, and the staff, when you first start to see where they are now and what they've done and how they've engaged. So I've been able to produce a report and things like that, and we've got an accreditations going through. So it's all these little small steps that we've done internally that we can actually push outside now. And I actually speak to our customer base when I go and visit and actually point them in the areas, and I can actually pass on some of my knowledge to them so they can start on their sustainability journey as well.
And as you say, something that's really come across today is that how important collaboration is.
It is. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Collaboration is the key to this sustainability journey. You know, we're not going anywhere. It has to change for generations to come, you know, not for just for me, but my daughters and my granddaughter. So it has to start from very small roots. And I think, you know, again, with the collaboration, we will start making the change. We will be there in the next, you know, how many thousands of years. So,
and just finally, what's the main thing that you'd say you'd take away from today?
I liked the networking, and as you said about the local side, the guest speakers were fantastic. It gave me some new ideas, especially on the social side, working with Chiltern Rangers and Carl from the Wall Garden. That was absolutely fantastic. But also some of the larger companies here, which came through, and some of the ideas of what they're doing, so I can actually bring that back and maybe water it down a little bit on my side, but go forward with that. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed it today, and I've really, working with a university as well is also fantastic.
Great chat to Sheila and the other speakers from the Sustainability Conference, which took place yesterday at Buckinghamshire New University. Do check out their social media and also look out for other ways that you can make a difference in that field. Here at Wycombe Sound.
Across High Wycombe and South Buckinghamshire. And on your smart speaker.
Play Wycombe Sound.
This is Wycombe Sound.